VR, VR. I'm so excited about VR. I'm just so excited. But let me write it in for a moment so that I can give you a little bit of a background into my gaming history. See, I grew up playing games like this. And even though I managed to sink quite a lot of my childhood and even adult life into games like this, I somehow never graduated to games like this. And if I'm being completely honest with you, even this was a little bit of a stretch. See, the few times I tried them at friends' houses, I ended up being that newbie stuck in the corner of the map looking like this. I mean, I'm sure I could have gotten the hang of it, maybe even relatively quickly if I gave it a fair shot, but I just didn't care enough about games like this to try. I mean, why invest my time into something like Halo when I could just continue to enjoy Mario and those sweet, sweet coin biddings? Now let's fast forward to the beginning of 2020. My life had gotten way too sedentary. I was spending almost all of my time sitting, but despite the times I forced myself to go to the gym during bouts of determination, I never got to that point that people talk about where you start enjoying the gym. In the past, I had had high hopes for games that claimed to gamify fitness and make it more fun, but for me, they all ended up missing the mark. Wii Fit games were either not strenuous at all, or they felt just like going to the gym. They were so fitness centric. I mean, just because Jillian Michaels was speaking to me through my Wii instead of a trainer at the gym didn't make it feel any less like exercise. I still was just watching the clock, waiting for the workout to be over. But recently, I heard of a few people that really started to improve their fitness through VR, and it rekindled my hope that there might finally be a way to gamify fitness that might work for me. And honestly, it has been a dream come true. I found myself getting so lost in the games that I didn't even realize I was sweating. I ended up having to set an alarm for myself just to remind myself to take a break because I didn't want to leave the game. I was so immersed. So I quickly amassed a collection of movement games. I mean, fitness-wise, this was definitely a game changer. But what I didn't realize was that not only would VR change my fitness routine, but it would totally change my gaming taste in general. See, aiming a gun with a controller, it's not very intuitive. And if it's not something you're that interested in, it's just not worth the time to get past that learning curve. But with VR, that all changes. All you have to do is just point the gun at the baddie and shoot. VR games just don't have the same competitive feel for me that flat games do. I mean, kind of like fun times at an arcade. You can definitely shoot for the top of the leaderboard if that's what you feel like doing, but you're still going to have a blast if all you do is just walk around with some quarters in your pocket and play games to have fun. I found that while my aim was still relatively bad in VR, a lot of VR games actually offer quite a generous aim assist. I think this is probably because VR games aren't designed to be just about trying to be the best or beating the game even, like traditional games tend to be. It's simply about the experience. In fact, a lot of VR experiences aren't even really games in the traditional sense. But if you do still have that competitive itch, you can hone your skill at any of these games and attempt to make your way to the top of the leaderboard. But that's what I love about VR. There's something for every skill level. I never thought I'd be into games like this. But now I just can't put them down. I find myself playing In Death Unchained and just trying over and over again, even though I'm not very good. I just never had that feeling with traditional games like Halo or Counter-Strike. It started with the rhythm games that involve shooting, and those tend to have quite a generous aim assist. At first I figured these would be my only fun with shooting virtual guns, and that's where it would end. But then I just couldn't help but try that game that everyone was talking about, the king of virtual reality. How could I not try Half-Life Alyx? But had it been a traditional flat-screen game, I seriously doubt I would have even given it a second thought. But in virtual reality, it ended up being one of the best gaming experiences of my life. See, I've never cared much about the storylines in games. I mean, ADHD club right here. I just got bored with cutscenes and having to talk with NPCs. But with Half-Life Alyx, that all changed for me. It's so immersive that I wanted to know the story. Then, before I knew it, Half-Life Alyx turned into Arizona Sunshine, which turned into VR Gun Club, which turned into In Death Unchained, and every other game in between that I could get my hands onto. While first-person shooters were definitely the most surprising for me, there were tons of other experiences I have enjoyed in VR that I never would have even been interested in outside of VR. I never would have played a fishing simulator or farm simulator outside of VR. I mean, while they might not have been outside of my difficulty range, I would have just found them boring. But with the immersiveness of VR, you're really just transported to that world. I believe that VR has become a lifelong hobby for me, and I can't wait to see what the future of VR holds, as even more groundbreaking and immersive technology is created seemingly every day. So I've created this channel to give my perspective as a newbie gamer. I mean, I probably won't be using the correct gamer terminology, so if that's what you're looking for, probably not the channel for you. Is this a roguelite, dungeon crawler, wave shooter, platformer? I honestly have no idea. But what I can tell you, is it fun? Is it boring? Is it too difficult for a newbie? That I can share. If this is a perspective you might find interesting, helpful, or entertaining, I encourage you to subscribe for more content to come soon. I'll be able to give you honest reviews from average to newbie gamer. Well, that's all today. Peace, love, and have fun. See you next time.